And we're back
Hello.
with this. It's the 14th of Desness.
Yes, let's see who's doing the recap. How did we do it last time?
Fuck yeah, I did.
Tyne, you're doing it.
God damn it. Oh, Medica looks happy now. Last time, Manikai, or Laurel, and everyone except for Raphael got recruited to find a cure for the mayor's wife, because she had been zombified.
Well, we think it's the mayor's wife.
Well, we found out at the end that it was her.
Ah, okay.
Be her fiance, right?
Oh yeah,
Ah,
fiance only.
yeah.
Maybe we'll get invited to the wedding.
Damn.
I don't think so. And being that the lucky is that Manikai got the court alchemist for a few days, and he got the papers for being a court alchemist, and we grabbed the opportunity to go look at those cultists' hideouts, since we finally had the opportunity. Riffelin used her contacts.
Oh yeah.
And I don't remember Jake's character's name.
Bollard.
Ballard and Raphael used Zoe's as their contact, basically. And we went in there to check it out. It had been burned down, as we had expected. And Raphael and Riffelin went on some secret mission that none of the others know much about. And they went to a smith, and we got the cure for his wife to be airborne. She got cured, and Lowell got fired, and we're probably never gonna get anything from it.
But we weren't
And we got a level. We weren't killed, and we got a level.
And during the last night, Riff was busy, so she's tired. Just so you know. Which you'll find.
Yeah, she's a little bit fatigued.
Also, there was that whole murder.
There's a whole murder thing?
Oh yeah, the woman that was
yeah.
nailed to the two houses. And when we tried to detect magic on her, we would scream and run. Scream and run. And we found out that there had been some of those cultists that had tried to do, what's it called?
Exsanguination. That's how she was killed.
Well, it was,
Basically blood.
Yeah. So we had to desecrate. No, not desecrate. The opposite.
Consecrate.
Consecrate. Riffelin's house. With the help of the priestess of the Black Butterfly. Right?
Yes. Exactly that. And that was pretty much it. Unless you can think of anything else. DDS. And anybody.
I think that's good enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Raphael is attacking stuff on my end.
Yes, he is. He is practicing.
Yep, trying out my my updated token.
But it's the morning of the 14th of Desness. It's quite a quiet morning. It's very, very foggy outside. A sea fog seemed to have rolled into the town.
Oh, good.
A little bit chilly, but
Probably.
nothing that unusual. Laurel has a knock on his door. Everyone else in the house is asleep right now.
Alright, go there and open the door. It's morning, he's probably cleaning out his lab a little bit. He hasn't been here for a few days. Gotta make it ready for normal business.
Very well. At your front door is quite a quite well dressed figure. It seems to be a approaching middle-aged male human with long brown hair, seeming quite tired as he kind of looks at you panting.
Paul sort of looks at him, says, "Good morning."
Good. Good morning. Would you happen to be Laurel?
So says, "Yes, that's me."
I have some advice for you. I don't want to say where I got it from, but I recommend you move your family away from here.
Paul sort of checks his the the bandolier of vials he has, sort of quickly looking around, says, "Is that supposed to be funny?"
No. Just a warning. The mayor's been militarizing quite a bit, and if what I believe he's going to do is correct, a lot of this district might turn into a war zone.
Well, you have no proof of this, so should I just take your word for it?
He looks around for a moment. Well, I have a little bit of proof. He hands forward an envelope to you.
Double look at it. Is it unsealed or?
It is sealed right now.
All right. Wait, does it have anything is anything written on it?
On the front it has written. On one side there is a written for the Lord Mayor Saint Lorraine. And the back it's sealed with quite official wax.
Oh, well, Laura would have no idea what sort of official thing it is, but sort of look at it and says, "How did you get this? You intercept the mayor's mail?
This is
Who are you?"
He looks around a bit more.
Come in.
Can I not say it in the street?
Sort of opens the door. Enters into the shop, the storeroom, closes the door behind him. Quickly goes to the windows and pulls the curtains. They're sort of dusty and blackened. They're not often used. Sometimes when he needs something that is light sensitive.
Now I don't think any guards are going to come around and accidentally hear me. I was, until a few days ago, the Lord Mayor's. Actually, we'll say a few days, been a few weeks at this point. The Mayor's scribe. I assume you might have known about my absence since you seem to have worked up there for a short time.
Yes, I did notice your absence.
I was fine when I left. I decided to take this with me.
And you haven't read what's inside?
Well, I know what's exactly inside. I wrote it.
I see.
This was from one of the military commanders somewhere in the district, giving a status report on how their actions are going.
Well, we'll unseal the letter and open it.
Inside, it seems to be talking about a few things. Talking about scouting for vantage and sniper locations around the district. Speaking about tactical areas to hold. Speaking about the number of troops and the amount of armaments they have. Speaking about estimated number of casualties.
Who do they want to be fighting?
You're looking through. It's not the clearest. Who exactly their targets go, who the target is. Looking at the kind of area attacking, it's possible it's the loyalist outpost in Pacific they're trying to go after. But it's not really made clear in the document.
Well, we'll ask. Who is this targeted against?
Well, there's a few people in Pacific it's targeted against. People that have been not falling under his power since the plague started. There have been some, as the Lord Mayor put it, terrorists. But a rebellious faction has been brewing somewhere in the district. There is a band of thieves also in the district, or thieves, smugglers, also nearby to that area. He's also worried about some of the refugee camps as they've been building power as well, and not been obeying the guard's law.
Otto shakes his head slightly and says, I see. And why did you come to me?
For a few reasons. One, as a bit of thanks for creating the cure, to try and make sure you at least get you're one of the first people to get the warning about what's about to happen. I overheard some of the guards speaking that his plan is going to be happening within the next week.
Oh, no, slowly. I see. He seems very sort of conflicted. Where are you going to go next?
I'll move around, see what I can to try and evacuate people from what's going to be the epicenters. It's not going to be easy, but so I can do. Mainly try and stay outside also the area which the guards have claimed around the district hall. As far as the mayor is concerned, I'm wanted.
Oh, no, slices, I see. Very well then. I would, if I may, ask for an hour of your time.
If that's what you so request. I'm exhausted anyway, I could do for a bit of a rest.
Could you come with me to one of my friends' homes? There, I'll gather the others, and perhaps they will like to know too. They helped me make the cure, I cannot take credit for it myself.
He nods to go along with you. He's well, how tired he is, he's definitely not in a state just to argue anyway.
Laurel will just grab his things real quick and a loaf of bread and then head out towards Rithlin's home. I'll sort of quickly walk in and knock on the door.
After a bit of delay, Riff will answer the door, rubbing one eye. You okay?
I was like, may we come in?
Yeah, sure. She kind of, she just gestures her hand. Sorry about that. She gestures her hand for you guys to come in. And takes a step back. Who's he? And points at...
I will explain a bit. Could you get him something to drink, perhaps? A place to sit down? I'll be right back. Says he seems to be in a hurry as he sort of moves off.
Riff will offer a seat and says, sorry I'm not that hospitable. I'll get you a drink. She goes and grabs a glass, doesn't want to show any power of any form, and pours him some water.
Thank you, he seems very tired.
Laurel goes to tell Raphael, basically, knock on his door, say, Raphael, you're needed at Rithlin's home. Don't be late.
There's a bit of a mumble. Then at the sound of Rithlin's name, you hear something more like a buzzer. And is that you, Laurel?
Yes. I will not come in, but be there soon.
Rithlin's home. I will be there as soon as I can. You hear hurriedly, he pulls clothes onto himself.
As Laurel begins making his way to, now it's time to get bored.
Well, the potato will follow you.
Go there. I mean, Laurel has.
Should probably say that that joke's not here again.
Yeah.
just so you guys know why there is a potato along with us.
Knock on the door too. So.
So we will open the door.
So, good morning, my lady.
Yes, Miss Morning Laurel, and you don't have to use the lady. I'm just Zoe.
Very well. The others are at Rithlin's house. I thought perhaps you would like to join us. It could be something that, could have an effect upon your life. So.
All right, let's go.
You want to go to?
Bullard would be chewing on bacon.
That's why he's not saying anything.
Yeah.
He didn't have time to eat his breakfast, so he kind of has like a little bag with him, like over the shoulder. He has like a little thing with some cheese in it, bread in the other hand, and he's kind of like having a whole breakfast table while walking.
Somehow, we don't know how it does it, but
Like ham under one arm and like
it's
a mug
really...
of butter and honey, and the other one.
He secretly has like an empowered version of the hand of the mage carrying his table.
Yes. He has a is it floating disc?
Oh, he just sits now and
Tensor's floating disc.
Yeah.
It's a floating disc of bacon.
Yeah.
Oh, now that is a spell.
Tensor's
That is
floating
the
bacon.
Tensor's floating bacon disc. Oh,
Holy crap.
oh yeah. No,
Get to work, scientists.
Yes, science.
I
must-
researched that.
I
Maybe.
hope
Well, I can't infuse you with it. Although
Oh,
bacon
so.
infusions,
I
that
want
would, like,
bacon
infuse-
infusions.
Yeah,
I need bacon infusions.
right into the bloodstream.
Yeah.
Pork.
An IV straight into the vein. Alright, anyway.
How does Rithlin react as people begin arriving in her home?
She's kind of confused, but she is definitely tired and
Raphael
Myra's annoyed.
sort of arrives, with his blade half drawn, sort of looking around and saying, I was called over here in quite a hurry, I must say. Are you all right, Ritherlin? Laurel sounded, stern.
I'm fine. I'm tired, and this guy's here. I don't know who he is, but Laurel brought him, and he's tired. Everybody's tired. I don't understand what's going on. She just kind of rubs her eyes again.
Raphael glares at the guy, and then shrugs and leans against the wall, waiting for the rest to arrive.
Ballard arrives with his bacon, sort of just gives a nod, like,
Mhm.
and goes to stand in the corner and eat.
Mhm.
This giant Warhammer thing. I suppose Laurel and Zoe get there together.
Mm-hmm. And I might want to add that the token Dark has chosen, he does not look angry.
Holy crap, it's true.
This is one of the few This is one of the few non-angry tokens I have.
Oh my god. The prophecy has been foretold.
What?
You must strike.
The star child is approaching.
And now we need like a song
Yeah.
about the colors of black and red. And
I have a few songs, but none of them are about black and red. I'm sorry.
Like
this
the
is
flag.
not Les Mis. Alright?
yeah, sure. It just seemed like the moment, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Laurel will arrive and sort of go and put the letter on the table. If there's a central table or just a chair, whatever, really on the floor if need be. And he'll nudge to the
Dining room.
man and say, tell them what you told me.
I was the ex-scribe for the Lord Mayor, and before I was fired, I've managed to acquire I managed to acquire a specific document which I wrote for him. This letter here indicating the Lord Mayor's military force has been doing reconnaissance and setting up vantage points, sniper positions, assault measures, figuring out civilian casualties. In simple, he's planning to do raids on many locations which he thinks are threats to his power in the district. And of course, no matter what ends up happening, he can just use the plague as his excuse, no matter what happens.
The plague is cured, I believe.
Not completely. There are still people infected. The cure takes a while to create, as it stands. It's also not guaranteed to work.
It also seems that after his own was cured of it, it is no longer a priority.
Raphael sort of massages the bridge of his nose and says, so you're basically telling me that the good Lord Mayor is using this as an excuse to, well, basically kill or imprison anything or anyone that has ever said anything towards him that he doesn't like.
In simple, yes. That is what I'm saying.
Raphael looks over to Laurel.
And us as well, as we know, well, that the plague has been somewhat mitigated.
Raphael frowns. Would he truly do something so, frankly, stupid as to attack the saviors who brought him the plague and cured his beloved even? Has the man no gratitude and honor at all?
I do not know. I don't know.
I do not know either if he will attack you. He does not like owing favors to people. Though I don't know if he will kill you for that. I'm just more worried as I feel Muleback Crossing may turn into one of the focus fires for assault at one point.
Raphael frowns, looks at the rest of the party and says, this is something that is quite troublesome, I do believe, because we have certainly ingratiated ourselves to the Lord in question, but also we have ingratiated ourselves quite a bit to the people around Muleback Crossing. It seems to me that we are sort of stuck in the middle.
No nonsense. Yes, I wanted all of you to be here and hear this. She shows the letter. With the seal and everything. This proves it, somewhat at least.
Well,
very detailed if it was a forgery.
And from what
can you read it for me then, please?
Oh, Laura will read it up.
It gives very detailed information about a lot of strategic locations throughout the district.
Does it put any specific names on people we know? Like, this guy's got to go.
Well,
Badger's got to hang. Or...
From people you know, there are a few people that are listed which you do know.
Does he say off with their head?
Off of the head, it goes for a few people on there.
Woohoo!
He has like made an abbreviation.
He has a stamp thing. He crosses a checkbox. It's like
OVH.
kill
star.
This person is
like
hanged. This person is to be burned.
So there's like hanged, beheaded, and just outright killed, and he just ticks what he
hanged,
wants.
beheaded, burned, killed, imprisoned, exiled. This goes on.
Fantastic.
So who is on the list?
Well, out of people you actually know, I mean, there's quite a lot of people on there, but out of people you know,
You gotta kill the baker.
these two names are on the list.
The baker's gonna go down.
Oh no! Don't kill Sebastian.
No,
Not Sebastian!
Aww.
I like
Eileen.
Just because he's
the
an
mortal
elf.
sword of Caden.
Who's
Is there anyone else? Yes,
Catherine.
Also,
Catherine-
I believe Raphael's overheard the name.
Yeah.
Iris is also on the list.
Who's Iris?
Iris, I know that name.
Which, in case you need a reminder, Jonas, it was the person who seemed to have been the leader of the Loyalist outpost. Yeah.
Catherine.
Oh, yeah. Catherine is the, Raphael will look over the
It's
list.
not a surprise that you know who the women
I
are.
would kill Sebastian.
That's everything.
What?
Say why he wants to kill Sebastian. Has he been growing drugs?
Is he cooking
Are
meth?
you doing drugs, Sebastian?
If you looking through, it's Sebastian does seem to, from what the notes seem to entail, Sebastian does seem to have a lot of people that that trust him. He's quite a pillar of the community. I mean, he's one of the old. He's quite old. He's quite wise. Maybe that's because he's an elf, which helps.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right, so basically, he's the kind of guy who would say, "No, screw you. You're not going to kill everybody."
Yeah, he would be one of the people which he's afraid could possibly rally enough support.
Yeah. Well, Laura will sort of gulp a little at this realization as she looks at the others. So says, if he's willing to kill people for potentially maybe being able to oppose him, then I don't see us having much of a chance.
Oh, I just got him as a friend.
Rahal frowns again, looks down at the list and says, This seems incredibly rash and aggressive for the man. What has pushed him to something like this? Why now? I don't understand quite why he's more or less declaring war upon the people he is supposedly here to serve.
Who is Catherine?
Well, she said the aristocracy has never served anybody. I don't know how it was in your colony, but out here, the people in the street don't look up.
Even so, he must know that he will be hitting a hornet's nest.
I suppose maybe he would think that the place has been so battered. People in refugee camps, they're weak. I don't know. Maybe he wants to execute this plan and then seem like a savior to the survivors.
Well, we have
After all, he has the cure.
We have to warn them, but who is Catherine?
Rahal smiles slightly and says, Catherine and I share something of a connection. She is running one of the, underground sports rings, one might say, in the district, yes.
Why would he want her dead?
She is a Scarnetti, which means that she is connected to some of the smuggling operations and some of the, shadier sides of the city's underbelly, I think. She is sometimes a fence, and certainly someone who could, he sort of waves a hand, be a thorn in one's side if one wanted to take out a good portion of criminal activity by, so to speak, cutting the head of the other. Catherine Scarnetti would be the one to choose from.
Lord, regardless, what are we going to do about this?
Who is on the list? Are we on the list? Are we...
None of your names have shown up on the
This is
list.
most likely made before we really made ourselves known, since the scribe was left before we even arrived. That's
Yeah,
worth
that's
considering.
like
This is an
before,
old
okay.
plan.
From what I understand, is there is really two ways, well, three ways not to die. One is just to move out the way and not be noticed. One is for you to be on his side, and the other is for you to somehow stop him from attacking you in the first place, or push him back.
But he has the guard on his side.
Yes, which makes the last option very unlikely as far as I see it.
The guard is needed to take care of protecting the citizens. Surely not all the guard can want this either.
There are some in the guard that would likely object, and those ones will probably just be put under the label of being traitors or insubordinates.
Raphael looks down at the list again and sort of says, It seems to me that, we are something up at a crossroads here. I do not feel like allying with this type of man, I must say. The other two options, well, we could of course hide. That might actually be the most prudent option. However, a lot of innocents or not so innocents might die in the commotion. The last option is, of course, to oppose him. But if we do, we are most likely going to, well, if we don't die, plunge this district of the city into something of a civil war.
When civil war starts in one district, it always spreads to another.
But the problem is, it's our words against his. Even if we were to get to make through this, what is our explanation going to be for the other mayors?
Well, I don't think we can.
To be honest, I don't even know if what he's doing is illegal. I don't.
It probably isn't. I am certainly not a scholar of the city's laws, but as far as I understand it, the Lord Mayor has pretty much absolute control over the district.
there are some laws that bind him, but with the quarantine in effect, there is no one else is there to enforce them on him.
Ah, of course. Martial law makes it certainly much easier to eradicate anyone who opposes him.
Exactly. You understand why why running was my option than, trying to hide there.
I am not actually so sure, Raphael glares at the guy. It seems awfully convenient that you suddenly shows up with the plans to this thing, and why do you come to us? How do we not know that this is not some ploy of the mayor to try to frame us? Perhaps, he motions to the door, at any moment guards will burst in through this door and try to arrest us as conspirators. Just you being here and with this letter might have been a setup. He sort of moves a little bit closer. So tell me again why exactly you picked us and why we should believe anything you say. Why shouldn't I, for instance, just practice some fencing on you? I can put you in a sack and hang you from the ceiling, for instance.
He exhaustedly looks towards you. Well, I didn't pick all of you. I spoke to Laura about this, mainly as he is one name which I heard while, eavesdropping on the guards, and apparently he was the one who developed the cure. So he was one person in particular I wanted to make sure could evacuate if he could.
Get any lies from him? I know 16 is not the best, but still.
He is quite scared at the aspect of having a sword put through him. You don't think he was lying, as far as you can tell.
What are we gonna do?
I personally don't like the idea of being part of a civil war. If they find out that we have a powerful, two powerful magic users, a swordsman, a bollard. She kind of gestures at bollard.
He nods, full of bacon.
And
Floating disc floats towards Raphael.
and Laurel, the alchemist. I mean, if anyone finds out that we are as powerful as we are, any form of leadership they have are going to throw us into the front lines. And personally, I like my life. I don't want to die.
Oh, nods. Yes, and yet, if we do nothing, the abilities we have come with the responsibility to use them for the good of all. At least for the good of those who can't do what we can do. This place is full of people who would die.
Nods slowly and says, if we do nothing, the blood of all these innocents will be on our hands, if we somehow could have prevented it.
How are we meant to prevent the deaths of the possible thousands when it's the Lord Mayor whose guards are doing it? The guards are more trained than peasants.
Well, that is indeed why we're here.
Part of the problem when it comes to a lot of the deaths might end up just being crossfire as well. As war breaks out, war does not take a preference between where you are. If you're in the way, sometimes you get caught.
So if we
there are two sides to this war, correct?
We can't go on his side. That's
depends on who you ask how many sides there are. Arguably, one way of looking at it is there's the Lord Mayor versus everyone else.
Raphael's. Go on.
Do we pick the non-trained mass of people, or do we pick the more trained, slightly smaller mass of people, or do we just get out of their sights and I know I have an agenda or two out of the city, but that's leagues away, and I don't think any of you would join me for such a trip. And personally, I don't really want to go out of the city alone. And Naira's not really any help. And the city's going to become a riot zone.
Looks and says, there's no way I'm going to leave these poor people alone. Innocent, afraid in the dark, covering with fear, as people with swords are going to come and take away everything they have.
Raphael
If
slowly
I
nods.
were in their position, I would want someone like me protecting them.
Raphael nods and says, if we go into this, and he looks at Laurel quite seriously, you do realize that we cannot protect everyone. Of course, people will die.
Hundreds. Thousands.
What is the alternative? There is one, I gladly take it.
Raphael shrugs. That is the thing. I am not actually sure it is. I don't think is. I think it might be necessary for us to actually intervene here. We are not completely alone, however. We could appeal to the loyalists for help.
Oh,
And be more
frowns.
terrorists?
I do not want to make this about their agenda.
Me neither, really. But one of their members are actually on this list. We should at least warn her. He points to Iris.
Oh. Who is Iris?
She's the leader of the local loyalist faction.
Oh.
She's the boss of Crimson, basically.
That's like Lindsay, I suppose. However, what should we do? Make a community guard? So it's round. We're kind of, close to the whole affair.
We do have some connections within the guard itself. Maybe Bollard can take a measure, see if any of the guards would actually join us in this foolhardy rebellion that we are trying to orchestrate here.
Rebellion shakes his head. There is, of course, the military storehouse, very close by.
That is certainly true. If we could somehow get access to the storehouse, arming the populace would be an idea. Although I don't really like the idea of giving arms to people who can barely hold a pitchfork. But it might be better than nothing. They fight with a sword or a dagger than with a saucepan.
Laurel nods and says, well, as much. I was thinking of shields, perhaps. Straps of leather. Anything that can reduce casualties.
A shield wall is only as good as the people holding them.
It would not be a wall. Since we live in these houses, we know these streets.
So do they.
Well, that is the problem.
Either way, I'm not exactly going to be on the side without friends, and seeing as you guys are the closest I have, I guess I'll be with you.
Raphael looks over to Zoe.
Zoe looks like she's in deep thought, and she really doesn't know. She looks to Laurel. I don't suppose we can just confront the mayor with it all.
Says, he is in his stronghold. Doing so would most likely get us killed. Says, however, perhaps you're right. I could take him out before. Shakes his head slightly. It would be too risky.
So I suppose talking to him is out of the picture.
Hold on, says, it seems if he's willing to go this far, talking would do nothing.
But this is an old list. maybe with this, when you saved his fiancée, a change of heart is possible.
Men of power become corrupted men. I read that as well.
Unfortunately, so. And out of all time, as the generations have gone by, things just seem to get worse and worse. Looking through the archives, he himself, even within the short time he's ruled the district, I've noticed changes in him.
And we still have the strange cult occurrences going about. It is troublesome.
Cult occurrences?
Don't you mind that?
He seems very, very confused by that.
Oh, not yes.
Isn't there someone we can give this letter to who can help us? Maybe his little brother.
Again,
Perhaps,
don't
but-
think what he's doing is directly illegal.
No, he has declared martial law, and during martial law he is probably saying something like, oh, I am just suppressing the insurgency, or clamping down on troublemakers or rioters, or whatever he pleases. No one is really here to tell anything else.
And who would care if a few poor people and vagabonds got killed in the fray? Less people to beg at the street corners.
I also think that the quarantine might actually be even stronger if we go to war. I don't think the other mayors would want anything from here to spill out into their districts.
If they're even paying attention at this point, a lot of them just put it under total quarantine until further notice.
I am, for all the trepidations of this, I am for acting against the mayor. I would throw my blade in his way and try to, well, impale him.
But how exactly would we do this? I'm no tactician.
First of all, it seems to me that we must rally some of the community, yes? I would go to the loyalist hideout and at least warn them of the coming calamity. Perhaps they can be of some assistance. They have, after all, fought a guerrilla war against the government for some time, and their insights might actually be of use to us. We should also warn the others on this list, and some prominent figures of the community as well. For instance, well, our Mother Elena is probably good to have on our side. Another option would be, he thinks, the workshop of Samuel Margot. If we can have him on our side, we will have a place to resupply, repair, supply arms and tools for the rest of the people.
I will go talk to Sebastian at least.
I'll talk to Mother Elena then.
If you wish, something I may do is I may be able to mark on a map where it seems I've worked out where the hotspots for control seem to be at the moment, and where likely war zones are going to be breaking out.
All nods and says, very well.
He gets out a ink pen, probably one he used to use before he was fired, and begins drawing on the map.
He stole office supplies, huh?
You know, there are more important things inside.
What a rogue.
So there's that area there, which you should be able to guess who owns that.
Yeah.
That bit.
God. Thor's workshop was right in the middle.
You
So is Riff.
caught in the front lines.
The white one, that's what he currently doesn't have control over but wants, as far as I say.
White is something which is under control by someone, but is really just neutral in the whole thing. They have no stance at the moment. But we'll probably get red is something specifically under the loyalist control in this case. If a different faction shows up, then they'll get a different color.
Okay.
Or if you guys form a different faction, they'll get a different color. But there you go. Those are the 7 7 different areas of conflict right now.
We are right square in the middle of it.
Who was Randall?
Oh, that's the annoying guard.
That's the guy we wanted to throw toilet paper at.
Oh,
It's the main guard, and he hates Bollard because Bollard tried to expose his corruption.
Should probably take him out, honestly.
Yeah, he was there last time when we go visit. He was like standing there being all smug. That's why we didn't take Bollard with us.
Yep.
Tabletop Assassin's
Like,
Creed.
no.
We should definitely. If we're gonna do this, if we're actually gonna fight against, we should probably take him out.
How
Like
long?
his home.
Yeah, kick down the door, stab him in the face, and get out.
Riff will say to the scribe, how long until he does this?
From what I can guess, somewhere in the range of a week to 2 weeks before he's going to start all of this off. I don't know exactly. I'm not quite in a position of power anymore.
So,
All I can do is really eavesdropping on those who still have at least a tiny bit of trust in me.
Riff nods and says, well, I still want to find some things out, which means I am going to other places before then, unless somebody needs my help.
it seems we all have things to do.
Mine's a bit more personal and could wait. I'd like to find out a bit more, a bit sooner rather than later.
But I must say, for all of you, if you are serious about trying to oppose him, then I'm glad I was the one. I'm glad I brought this to you. With this, at least should give you some strategic information to help.
Well, not slightly. This is sort of well, at least we can set up some sort of defensive network so that if we get attacked, we can secure that as few people get hurt as possible. I don't know if we would actually attack in. Of course, ending this problem before it becomes big is also an option. I think to consider. The first thing we need to do is gather our friends.
Yeah, Fernandes, I will go to the loyalist hideout then and warn Iris.
Well, I'll go to Sebastian, perhaps to the refugee camps and workshop, see who would be willing to stand with us.
Raphael gets up from his wall-leaning position and starts stalking out. Then I will see you all a bit later.
Scribe looks towards you. Unless you have any arguments of where you want me to go, I'm going to see if I can get some of the people in the epicenters to try evacing. Move up towards the edge.
Perhaps you should take some rest first. If there is a week, that is the whole week to do so. Getting you caught would give us absolutely nothing.
Very well. Is there a room I can stay in, or should I just sleep out here?
Also looks to Rithland as he begins to leave.
Riff says, well, there's my room, but I want that, so there's anywhere else apart from the toilet in case I need the toilet. Or you can live with Bollard. I mean, he's a bit angry.
Takes care of him.
And personally, if you stay here, just so you know, I can kill you. So no funny things.
As again, I think Bollard should take him home with him. And he
and anyone looking at him, he is not a trained fighter. Any one of you could run him through with a dagger.
You mean I could actually roll high enough to...
Yes, on a
hit him?
dagger, you could even roll high enough to kill him.
Oh my god! Even fatigued?
And Ballard will take him home with him, I think.
While Ritalin is amazed at the potential of murder.
Yeah.
Oh,
Physical
so
murder.
we will go to Mother Helena.
And Riff will go out to an unknown location.
Or we'll also just go to the baker and
Tell him to get the fuck out.
Get out, you asshole!
sort of nog and be like, he knows it's too early for him to have opened, but
The
He knows.
baker opens early.
The baker. The
well,
baker
he's
can
working.
come to the door.
The store is open.
Here's the baker.
Baker.
All sort of nods. Farrell.
Yes, very early.
Yes. As it is, things are troublesome. With the plague and all, you remember when those creatures attacked you, we were there. I don't know if we can be there if something happens again. Something larger than us might be happening here, friend. I'm rambling. All I wanted to do was warn you. Something big is underway, and it seems that this place could be in the middle of it. I'd like to offer, if I may, the suggestion that you, perhaps tomorrow, just take the things you have, bring them further south. Perhaps the grocer, Kedlin, will let you stay there. A bit of a vacation, a week.
He seemed skeptical. The guards have been well protecting this area of recently. Patrols
Yes.
going around keeping the place safe.
A little too well. Do you remember last time that they were protecting such a place so well? I don't think it's ever happened before. Something is brewing, and I don't have a good feeling about it. You know me, old friend. All I ask you is to trust me. The worst that can happen is that you stay a week at a friend's place.
I suppose business has been pretty bad anyway.
Well, no, if you do get in the worst financially, I'll offer my help there as well.
You know,
I don't want this to hurt you.